very good evening to everyone. Fabulous evening, especially to Chartered President, distinguished guests, Chartered members, and guests. Today's theme for our inaugural chapter meeting is a new star has been born. This theme is very good, as is our inaugural meeting. And when I first saw this theme, the first thing came to mind was this song, When a Child is Born, by Johnny Mathis. So I will just sing the first chorus. A ray of hope flickers in the sky. A tiny star lights some way up high. All across the land dawns a brand new morn. This comes to pass when a child is born. So the child is our Singapore Online Toastmaster Club. Although it's not very small, but it's a very significant event for everyone here. And we are similar to a child because we are newly chartered and the first Singapore online club. Nevertheless, we are also learning as we go on, as this is a new platform for a lot of us. And we also look forward to us growing and learning, just like a child that goes into adolescence and adulthood. And I shall not talk so much. I would like to hand over to our Chartered President. Over to you, Willie.
Ernest, okay. Let me unmute you first. Okay, Ernest, you go first.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me. Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Willie, for asking me to join this online meeting. Honestly, I'm not tech savvy, but I'm willing to learn. As Alicia say, a child is born tonight. That make me think about the song say, I believe I can fly. All right. That song shows that in the world, if you believe in it, you can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I believe I can do a lot of things. So in the world today, we must believe in ourselves that we can do a lot of things. So tonight is the beginning of great things that happen to me. I never know that it's so easy just to click on the Zoom and voila, the photograph appear, the meeting appear, and we are in the online meeting. Well, I must say, congratulations. We hope that this online meeting can go on. Not only can link up with the Toastmasters in Singapore, we also link up Toastmasters around the world. The world is getting closer, the girl is getting warmer, and we are connected just by the click. Ladies and gentlemen, expand your horizon, and I believe that we can learn from one another and be a good speaker to Toastmasters movement. Thank you so much, Willie. Hand over to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you, District Director Ernest, for the wonderful speech. I believe I can fly. We can actually fly if we really believe it.
I believe I can touch the sky.
Oh,
I think about it night and day. Spread my wing and fly away.
Yes, we shall spread our wings now to Chartered President, who will give his opening speech. Over to you, President Willie.
What happened to Willie?
We also like to introduce and invite our PQD, Jerkin, to give us a short speech as well. Over to you, Jerkin.
Thank you. Well, first of all, congratulations to all the chartered members for chartering this club. And also thank you, Willie, for bringing the Toastmasters meeting in Singapore to a new horizon. Nowadays, with the new technology, video conferencing becomes very popular, and it has a lot of advantages. First of all, it saves a lot of time. It saves your time, traveling time, and also you can connect to anyone in the world. So this club is not only open to members in Singapore, because this club does not belong to District 80. I believe soon there will be members from other countries joining, and that enable the members to exchange ideas. So I thought that's a wonderful thing. And it's also it's inexpensive. You don't have to pay for rental of the room. And one other good thing about this is you don't have to dress down. What I mean you don't have to dress down means down below your waist, you don't have to dress, because they only see the upper part of your body. And if you look at Alicia, we only see her head, so she doesn't even need to dress at all. But I think what's the most important thing is this: it gives us an opportunity to learn lessons from mistakes that we can make during conference calls like that, because this is a safe environment for us to make mistakes. And when we learn from those mistakes, when we participate in more important business calls, then we know how to avoid those mistakes. What are the common mistakes that we can make? First of all, if you really do not dress anything below your waist, make sure there's no mirror behind you, because sometimes the mirror can show the reflection and expose everything. I think the second thing is make sure your phone is secure, because your phone might drop down and the camera might just focus on the wrong part of your body. And third one is you must always remember to mute. I remember once a friend, the wife came in and asked him, "Darling, what are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm participating in a boring conference call." And we could tell him that you better mute. And finally is, even though it is a good opportunity for us to communicate, it doesn't give us the opportunity to do small talks during tea breaks. So I still encourage everyone in the online club also to participate in a real live meeting. Because in a meeting like that, you also don't have an opportunity to make use of the stage and other tools of speaking. But I think this is really a very good start. It gives us an opportunity to get ourselves exposed to technology, get ourselves exposed to, or to invite people from different countries to participate and really broaden our horizons. So well done, the chartered members of this club. Thank you.
Thank you, PQD Jerkin, for giving us such a wonderful introduction about the benefits of online Toastmaster Club. Our club is also here to help District 80 as well. We'll be opening up also to District 80's members to speak on our platform. And the next up will be, I'll be inviting Patricia to say some short words for our Chartered Club. Over to you, Patricia.
And I was muted. Can I get it back? All right, I was saying that, and we are able to make connection at any time of the day or anywhere in the group. I am born in a generation where I'm not so comfortable with IT. Usually I fear IT than admire it, although I know there are many advantages. One of them is that I could get things done without having to move out of my own home. Like I could get a doctor consultation on the phone, I could pay my bills with the press of a button. And best of all is I could get food on my table with just a phone call. Life is so much easier. Now communication has also come a long way with IT. I remember I have to make a trip to the post office just to send a telegram. I remember I have to poke away on the telex machine in the office and then have to wait for hours for a line so that I could send a message out. But online meeting is the byproduct of IT advancement. It gives us the opportunity for members to continue their educational journey while at home, keeping an eye on their children, for instance. It has also allowed members to practice their presence on video, where it is the norm now rather than the exception. It has also allowed members to make connection across the Toastmasters Club in the world. In other words, it has shrunken our big world into a small space. It has made us come much closer together. And it is so marvelous that we could speak to one another in the comfort of our own home, while at the same time I felt like I'm speaking in your home. So that is this closeness that makes us feel like we are friends. I also want to thank Willie, the club president, for inviting me as a member and as an advisor. I am so honored to be invited. At first, I was also skeptical when Willie told me about this online club. I wasn't sure if I liked the idea, but I came anyway to observe. And even before that meeting was barely over or barely began, I was empowered. I saw that at that moment the benefits of the club. I saw how members who are unable for some reasons to go out of their home for club meetings, they were able to come meet us. In other words, people who are unable to go to a meeting, we brought the meeting to them. I was also so overwhelmed at that meeting because I saw how a bedridden member was able to join the meeting. She spoke from her bed. And if that member is here now, I want to thank you for the inspiration to share despite your situation. I gave this example to tell you that online clubs can do so much for so many members, whether we belong to District 80 or not. And that is one of the reasons why I supported the club. With this club, it is my personal wish that we could bring people from all over the world together to give members the opportunity to speak wherever we may be or wherever the condition may be. So let us speak as one to continue to do good while we continue to pursue for excellence. Thank you for being such wonderful leaders, and thank you for having me today. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia, for giving us such a nice introduction and so encouraging. Okay, we have still some time. I'd like to get everyone to introduce themselves, and maybe they can tell us what this theme, A New Star Has Been Born, mean to you. Anyone like to start the ball rolling?
To show you something. 4 years ago, this club is called International Community Toastmasters Club. they tried to register online with TI, but TI rejected it. They said, we were not ready then. So the club did not continue after that. It sort of went into demise. And 4 years later today, the TI has agreed to allow an online club to operate. So this is a change of policy and also a change of events. I'm happy that Willie has initiated it now so that the world is getting closer and connected. Thank you so much.
Yes, things are sometimes a bit fated. May not happen many years ago, but it's probably a how shall we put it? Sometimes certain things happen earlier first. It's a prelude to our Singapore Online Toastmaster Club coming today. Now, can I have someone to introduce themselves? Our members?
Yeah, I'm Sajiv, and what I think is that this is a totally different domain from a face-to-face meeting in a club, wherein you look at gestures and you look at body language and different things. But here in this domain, we are more interested in just you can focus on the content and the technology, how technology aspects, how to not to have a disruption in the meeting, the camera, the microphone, and any disturbance. And so we learn more about technology in this space, I think. And it also brings us all together. We can share so many ideas. So I think we don't have to compare this to a face-to-face meeting, but we can also learn in this space how to connect with each other and how to also remain connected to technology. So that I feel is it's a very good initiative by Willie and all the members who have taken this initiative to charter this club. All the best. Yeah.
Thank you, Sanjay, for sharing with us your thoughts. Can we have another person to introduce themselves? How about George?
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Yes, can hear you, Uncle.
Hi, I'm George. I'm from Choa Chu Kang Toastmasters Club, and I'm here invited as an evaluator for one of the speakers. I was here last week as a guest, and I participated in table topics, and it was quite an exciting moment. We was just looking at the camera, looking at my phone. A bit too soft, right? Sorry, the mic's here. Even though I was looking at my phone in the Toastmasters meeting, it was a little bit weird, but after getting used to it, it felt quite cool. As a young person like me, I think using technology to do this something that I really like, which is attending Toastmasters meeting, doing table topics, doing evaluation. It's a new experience. I think it's very cool. So thank you, Willie, for introducing Singapore, the Singapore Toastmasters community to this kind of thing. Yeah, cool.
Thank you, George. How about Yogurt Girl?
Yogurt girl. Oh, okay. You take yogurt every morning.
No. The reason why they call me wait, can everybody can hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yay. Okay. Hi everyone.
Hi.
The reason I am called Yogurt Girl is because the last time I came here, I was equipped with 3 cups of yogurt, 1 cup per hour of the chapter meeting.
Wow.
But this time round, I came with something else, and I shall today be known as the Seaweed Girl.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But definitely not 1 sheet per hour. It'll be more than that. So, oh well, that's all from me.
Yogurt Girl, you're very dark in the background. You might like to switch on the light. Otherwise, it gets too romantic. Thank you.
She like to hide her beauty.
No, I'm in the same room as my sleeping child.
Oh,
Kinder
okay.
do.
So that's all
By
right
the way,
with you all.
Alicia, can you excuse me? I'm going to sign off now. I will go back and sleep. Not feeling well. All right. Okay.
All right,
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Perhaps we get some of our other international Toastmasters to introduce themselves and tell us how they feel about the theme today. How about Dennis?
Okay, well, I had a little trouble logging in this morning. I wrote the meeting ID wrong, so that's why I was a little bit late logging in. But this has been great to meet everybody from other parts of the world. I've been trying to get a hybrid club of my own working, and so being a part of a 100% online club really is a different environment. And I've ended up having to buy a new camera, so you can see that the view in my room is a little bit larger today because of the new camera. So technology has changed a lot, but you've just got to keep up. And I really enjoy this. I'm really going to try to apply this to other clubs in my district. I'm in California, the United States. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. We love your new camera. We get a better look at you. Oh, I see Tong Lee.
Hello.
Hi, Tong Lee.
Hi.
Merry Christmas, Tong Lee. Good morning.
Hi, Merry Christmas, Grandpa Gerald.
Hello.
Introduce myself. Yes, I'm Tong Lee and I'm from Singapore. Is there anything else that I should be introducing or discussing myself?
Maybe you can tell us how you feel about the theme tonight. Our theme is A New Star Had Been Born.
A new star has been born. Wow. I think yes, a new star has been born. The club, I think Singapore Online Toastmasters Club is the new star that has been born. And I'm glad to be at the chartering meeting tonight with everyone here tonight.
We are also very happy to have you.
Thank you so much.
Tong Lee. Can we have another person to introduce themselves?
Yes, I can. Okay.
I see Shan Shan.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Shushan. I'm from Singapore, and it's great to be at this meeting today. So let's have fun tonight. Anything else?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.
I also see Jay. Jay, welcome.
Hi.
Jay.
Hi, good evening. I'm Jay Parke from Bangalore, India. Very happy to be here when the new star is born. I'm a member of 3 online clubs and 1 on-site club. And it's great feeling. This is my 3rd visit to this club after the demo meetings. And I've seen in the background all the great work that Willie has been doing as a single man army. So compliments to him and compliments to all the charter members and also all the distinguished guests who are assembled here. Let's have great fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. All right.
Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Kim. I'm from Singapore. I want to congratulate Willie and the team for doing such a wonderful online meeting for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim, for those encouraging words. Oh, I see Angela. Angela, you need to unmute.
I can't see the co-host can help support Angela.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah. Hello. Good morning. Merry Christmas.
Good morning and Merry Christmas. It's evening where I am in Singapore, and it's not yet Christmas. My name is Angela Lansbury. I'm absolutely thrilled to be part of this online club. I always dreamed of an online club because I travel a lot, and it would enable me to join my club anytime, anywhere. So I think this is very exciting for all of us who travel. And well done to Willie. That's it.
Thank you, Angela. Oh, I see Hendrik.
Thank you. I've been promised from Willie that I will hold a speech next week, and I would like to celebrate him that next time. But I can take some things. I was a little bit skeptical about this club before, but now I'm so impressed how we made succeed. And just feel congratulations and good luck to the club. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hendrik, for the congratulations. All right, I see Hakim.
And Hakim is busy inside a meeting.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
We will move on to another person then. Aaron.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Aaron. I'm honored to be advisor for this club as well, and VP of an online club and also part of 5 clubs right now. So really glad to see Singapore Online Toastmasters Club being chartered. There are lots of discoveries to be made because currently there are at least 26 to 27 online clubs, over 400-ish online attendance club. So welcome to the big family. Back to you.
Thank you, Aaron. We still have time. Can we have some more members and guests to introduce themselves? Uncle Turkey.
Yeah, welcome. And my nickname is Uncle Turkey for today. Actually, I'm Gerald from Toa South, Singapore, and I'm known as the Turkey Man. Hand it over to Alicia, who is just staying a few blocks away.
Thank you for telling everybody. So now people will be coming to stalk me. Okay. I see a pretty lady there, Marty Colbert. Hi.
Hi, Mati.
Can you introduce yourself and how you feel about the theme tonight?
Hello, and thank you very much for that wonderful invitation to join you. It's my pleasure. Again, my name is Marty, and I've been a Toastmaster for about 20 years here in the United States. But the fact that we now have the means to connect worldwide is just incredible as far as I'm concerned. I want to also congratulate all of the hard work that went into getting this club where it's at now, and to recognize that diligence, that persistence, all of what has brought everyone together today. And, you know, I was thinking as I was getting ready to join you about the theme, and it really brings tears to my eyes, because when you think about a star, you think about light, and you think about love, and you think about the way that we now can come together and have these places where we can exchange ideas, get to know each other. It doesn't matter what time of day it is, what part of the world you're in, but in this family of Toastmasters, we have that privilege and honor, and we have the background of knowing the idea of respect and expectations for a safe place to come and learn and grow together. So once again, thank you for this invitation to join you, and thank you to everyone who has worked so hard to make this happen. My humblest appreciation and gratitude.
Thank you, Marty, for such a nice, insightful introduction and so encouraging. I understand that Aaron wants to speak. Can we invite Aaron, our club advisor, to speak?
Like what topic you want me to talk about? The online club history. I should know more about online club and how online clubs come to play. Oh, my connection. Everyone can hear me? Can everyone hear me though?
Yes.
Oh, now
Yes,
can. Okay.
yes.
Thank you, Willie. Oh, so do you want me to talk about for 5 minutes, or I need to ask for approval for everyone because I missed my speaking slot this time. Okay. So according to Willie, I'm allowed to talk about 5 minutes. So for online clubs currently, for members who might not know about the online club history, we in 2015 in the International Convention for Toastmasters, it was authorized to have online club meetings and also online attendance. It has been at least 9 years whereby in place. I'm trying to go up first because I'm actually in the basement. Everyone can hear me now? Is it better?
Yes.
Better. Okay, great. I'm now on balcony because I'm having 2 Toastmaster meetings at the same time. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier on, in 2015, it was authorized to have online club meetings, and it's also in the Toastmaster bylaws. The first online club that comes to play is Netizens, followed by Firebirds Collective, and then there are other clubs that start to build up and become a very big family, just like where Marty Auburn is actually from. So we have lots of different online members who wants to connect with the world, whereby we can share stories, get connected, and then the numbers start to grow. And then online attendance also start to grow up to 450 clubs that the last time I checked, because I visited all of them in person. And then I have to check which online attendance clubs is valid and which online attendance club is actually like just putting on the name and says they have online attendance and stuff. So there's a community whereby there's one is Online Alliance, which is for online clubs, and then online attendance clubs, which will be Project Infinity. So welcome for everyone to actually go for it. My goal in online clubs is that there are many people around the world that actually needs this support. When I say support, meaning that Toastmasters International might have overlooked a couple of group people that may want to go for Toastmasters but missed out, such as people with disabilities. They cannot travel to many places around the world, or even to the local clubs. They might want to stay at home and try to connect with different Toastmasters. That's one group of people. Another group of people that might get more support would be people in prisons. But due to lots of different things like privacy issues, protectiveness, some of the prison clubs will actually need to visit there. And then finally, for the last group of people that might want to have online club attendance, etc., would be people who travel far away. Just like in Hong Kong right now, I can actually access to a group of people from Singapore that I missed because I spent at least 7 years growing up in Singapore. I miss all those friends from Singapore, and I get back the vibe is whereby it brings me back a lot of good memories and so. And we can share, like you can see the yogurt girl who always win championship. We can get to learn from them. And last week we have Aaron Beverly from all the way from US coming on to my online club to actually give us a workshop on how to give a very great stories. Think about all different possibilities that you can bring from online. Online has been one of the most undermined methods of communication back a couple of years ago. Even when they suggested online conferencing can be available in quite a lot of the speakers association or even in corporate worlds whereby you have to do teleconference. Think about you train your skills looking at the eye contact. Are you sure you master the skill and the craft of communicating online? That's whereby we want to train that up. Not just that, we also get evaluations that's outside our country. Just like for my speech, I would like to get evaluated from US, UK, whereby I can get different vibes to help me improve, to push my limits further. That's where I started. I was in Toastmasters for 13 years. I spent 9 years cultivating project infinity. And that builds up to at least 400 clubs, which to my honor and to my very big privilege that I can get all the schedule of what time. I even spend like around like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. just to stay up for an online club. I really actually did that before as well, while visiting all the online clubs. But think about all this experience that you're getting for free, as long as you're Toastmasters. Think about all the stories that gives you inspiration. Just like TED Talk, you get all the stories from TED Talk. But everyone's story in this room right now can be accumulated to a wealth of wisdom. So I highly suggest for everyone, keep on joining for online clubs, because every time you come by, you learn something. You learn something that can be blowing your mind off. Cultural difference, cultural understandings, or even like new tips of how to evaluate better, presentations, etc. So with that in mind, I will pass the stage back to Willie, and or no, not Willie, to our Alicia to continue on the part on continue on your section. Thank you.
Thank you, Club Advisor Aaron, for that wonderful, inspiring speech that has me thinking that online club is such a wonderful vehicle for Toastmasters members to expand their education, be it from the disabled all the way to busy executives, to people who want to complete their speeches. Yeah, without much ado, I would like to invite our chartered president, Willie Low, to give us an inaugural speech. Over to you, Willie.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. As organizer grow and mature, one of the greatest challenges they face is communication. Competition is simple communication. The problem has grown as remote office increasing groups and activity take place online 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. What a better option where you can do online meeting, collaborate, document online. That online demand meeting works well. Video online meeting can help you and your team capture ideas, share best practices, and supplement email. That is the area where you can use video to its greatest advantage. A year ago, when I returned to Toastmaster, I rejoined my physical club till today, Future Toastmaster Club, which is based in Woodlands. And after joining them a few months, my work have taken over the job, taken over my time. That I couldn't attend Toastmaster meeting for at least half a year. That's for October all the way to February. And also because one of my grandparents passed away, I couldn't take part in the contest. That's why I have a dream to have a Toastmaster Club meeting online. Setting up an online Toastmaster in this part of the world may not be acceptable for many people, especially people who do not need to communicate to the rest of the world. I may have speaking difficulty short time, but when I joined Toastmaster, my first Toastmaster Club in 2003, and when I returned last year, more and more people understand me. Why am I speaking this way? Because I have a speaking difficulty. I can't pronounce the word like a normal person. Even I may have the thought to do so. But Toastmaster did change my life. It made me less fearful to speak in front of the audience. The journey of chartering process started on 18 October 2019. And we started a first demo meeting where I first released the news of this demo meeting to the committee, to the Toastmaster committee in Singapore. I was swamped with question after question. 2 weeks later, I went on to attend the online Toastmaster Club throughout the world based on what I can attend. Is Saturday night at 11 p.m. Bangkok time. That's 10 p.m. that time. And on Sunday, Firebirds Collectively Toastmaster Club. That is on Sunday afternoon. And that's where I have an idea. I can invite project evaluators throughout the whole world to come to evaluate Toastmasters in Singapore, so that we can prepare the Toastmasters in Singapore for a stronger feedback and evaluation, so that they can improve. Members after the meeting have feedback to me that they like the idea of having a different evaluator for all committee. And I went to understand. This year, Toastmaster Ariel Leong was invited as a guest project evaluator on the second meeting, and he highlighted the various components of effectively running an online Toastmaster club. The chartered members were so happy that they proposed to me to ask Ariel to be our club advisor. Ariel agreed to be the club advisor. On the third meeting, I invited past district director, district Toastmaster Patricia Lam to attend the online meeting as a project evaluator. She joined the meeting and she enjoyed the meeting. What good news is I never expected that. She left me a message the next day that she want to know more about the club and she want to join the club. She feel empowerment. Actually, I told her that I want her to be our club advisor and also a member if possible. She tell me that the online platform can give us another avenue of how she can improve her public speaking online. The journey of chartering process met with difficulties. With Toastmaster Pui at the last minute, I was so stressed out. I was so distracted. But despite the last minute withdrawal, I managed to fill the last 3 members with Aaron joining me for Hong Kong, Dennis for US, and one other member that did not reply to me until that day. So on 30th of November, I sent in the charter paper to Toastmasters International, and I never looked back. I almost withdraw because we expect it's very fast because we are an online club as compared to a physical club that will take weeks. With the support of 20 members, I persist until we receive the official word for Toastmasters International to go ahead for the chartered meeting tonight. In summary, Singapore Online English Toastmaster Club is another club, Toastmaster Club, that will provide value-added support to the district education rules at club level, which it directly helps the area, the division, and the district. Every week I have received feedback for other visiting Toastmasters that our meeting is fun. Not only that, our meeting meets between the 3 time zones: Asia time zone, Europe time zone, and American time zone. So many thanks to all the 20 members, including the 2 club advisors, past district AD Director Patricia Lam, area level for competitors, communicator. Without your support and patience, we will have go so far. Many thanks to Toastmasters for other online clubs which I have invited e-committee to evaluate us for the past demo meeting. Definitely, I will also attend your club online meeting when time persists. I wish to thank the 3 senior district officers for attending the environment meeting, the charter meeting of the Singapore Online English Toastmasters despite their busy schedule. Lastly, on behalf of Singapore Online English Toastmasters Club, we express our gratitude to both Toastmasters and non-Toastmasters for attending this meeting through Zoom meeting and Facebook Live. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the meeting we have planned for you. Over back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Chartered President Willie Low. That was indeed a fabulous Friday inaugural speech. You were so honest about the entire process of how you set up this online chapter club. And indeed, we are very happy to have you as our anchor chartered president. You really show us what servant leadership is. And we believe you can lead us from a baby, new child, and to adolescent and to adulthood. So now, next up, let's go on to the next section of our inaugural chapter meeting. We have the table topic section, otherwise known as the Better Thinking segment. Now, I would like to hand over the rostrum to our table topic master, Deepak. Where are you, Deepak? Oh, Jay, is it? Jay is the table topic master?
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, I was wondering who is this mysterious person. Over to you, Jay.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to share my screen with you. There are a total of 20 topics from which you can choose, and just getting familiar with sharing. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, so in this segment, we will attempt impromptu speaking for 1 to 2 minutes. Timer, please note, at 1 minute, show the green, 1.5 minute yellow, 2 minutes red, and 2.5 minutes buzz. You have a choice of taking any of the number. I will click on the number and the subject will appear. You will have to speak on that subject for about 2 minutes. So can I have a volunteer, please? Who would like to go first? Okay, Angela, please unmute yourself first.
Hello,
What is the topic number you want to choose?
I'll have lucky 8.
All right. Oh, wonderful topic. Carpe diem. Plug the day, seize the day. That's your topic.
Thank you so much. Absolutely, seize the day, seize every day, because every day is a wonderful day. And it's up to you to decide how happy you're going to be and how much you're going to achieve. I think that at school, my day was all planned out for me so that no minute was wasted. Every hour of the day was a different topic, a different subject. And in order not to fritter your life away, the ideal thing is to make a list of every part of the day and assign something to it. One of my first mentors in Toastmasters in London at Harrovians was called Indra Sikdar, and he was a prime example of this. He would come round to visit me on a Sunday morning, and he would say, I've got an hour exactly with you. We will spend the first 20 minutes rehearsing your speech, the next 20 minutes rehearsing my speech.
Green.
I can't see the lights. Ah, no. Anyway, so he planned every minute of his day, every minute of every meeting, and he timed my speeches, and he planned that out, the rehearsal, a week beforehand, so that when I got to deliver my speech, it was all prepared. And that was a wonderful example. So I recommend everybody should do that. There are some diaries you can get which list every hour of the day. And in fact, you can do that online as well. And then you can add in all the things you want to do to be sure you don't miss anything out. And for me, planning a Toastmaster speech is one priority, and another is learning a foreign language. So I will say goodbye, adios, and hand over to the next speaker.
Thank you, Angela, for that wonderful speech. May I have a next volunteer, please? Next speaker, who would like to go?
Okay, I'll take number 3.
All right. So your topic is a golden key can open any door. A golden key can open any door.
Yeah. Okay. Every opportunity, it's like an opportunity that presents itself in front of you. And I think you don't need a golden key. It's just the attitude. We all have our knowledge and skills and attitude. But what's the most important among these 3 is our attitude. And that is, I believe, the golden key to open any door. In any event or any job or anything, what you bring to the table is your attitude. And it's not just doing the job. Everybody, you may be a subject matter expert, but you may keep all the knowledge to yourself. You do not share it with others. So there is no teamwork. There is no satisfaction in the end. But a person who brings a right attitude, who believes that the whole team can achieve much more together, and who brings that experience as well as that attitude, can open the golden key to any door. So in life, any day, when we have approach a day with the attitude of bringing the best attitude, like when you begin the day, you plan for the whole day, every event, how to unlock doors, how to make this meeting with this person a great meeting, how to journal what I did during the day, how to have a great afternoon with a great lunch with my friends. And every event that we
Hello.
have during the day can unlock so many opportunities for us. And these are, I think, the golden keys that we hold in our hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjeev, for that wonderful topic selection and very relevant speech. Who would like to go next? Please select a topic. Any volunteers, or shall I call the name? No one?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I want to take my leave now. This is Cher Kim. Thank you for inviting me to this online meeting. I really enjoy and hope to join you guys some other time. Thank you.
All right, see you, Chukim. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
See you, Joakim.
Bye.
Mommy,
Yeah.
everything is really good. Only have yellow color.
Yeah.
George, would you like to go?
This
Choose a, choose a
bird,
topic.
everything on the body
Wait,
is
I
yellow.
unmuted. But I did not.
Hello. Can I invite George too?
Yes. About
Merry Christmas, George.
Merry Christmas, Gerald. About 20.
What's your topic choice?
20.
20. He chose topic 20.
The topic you chose is early birds get worms, but early worms get eaten. Early birds get worms, but early worms get eaten.
My video is stopped for some reason. The host has stopped my video. Oh, okay. Right, okay. So, hi, Club President, guests, fellow Toastmasters. The quote reminds me of this saying that the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. Why does the second mouse get the cheese? Because the first mouse got caught in the mouse trap. So it is a phrase to spark your enthusiasm to go for it, to wake up early in the morning, to strive to be the first at everything that you do. But it's a caution to not go so quick, not be so gung-ho about your efforts, because in this day and age of long working hours, especially in Singapore, which is one of the top few countries where workers work long hours, it's very important to watch out the amount of energy you put into every day, which you don't burn out in the long term, to conserve, to go far, to go longer. And makes me think about making sure that you don't burn out so easily in your everyday. And especially Willie, I know Willie
Hello.
has been working very hard in not just Fuchun Toastmasters but also in Singapore Online. So I hope that this will be an opportunity for Willie to reflect upon his journey, so he can tone down his efforts a bit, he can take a break, and he can go longer with all of us together. Thank you.
Who would like to go next? May I invite Shan Chan?
All right. Can I take, say, number 15? 15, 15. 15.
A man who is his own lawyer has a fool for his client.
Wow.
A man who is his own lawyer has a fool for his client.
Okay. Wow, this is a tough one.
You get tougher after 10.
A man who is his own lawyer has a fool for his client. So the client is the fool or the lawyer is the fool? All right, let me think about that. Oh, this is tough one. Okay. I guess.
You want another topic if you like?
Possibly, yep. This one is tough, so I guess everybody knows 15 not to choose anymore. All right, then I go for number 5 then.
Okay. A washed pot never boils. A washed pot never boils.
Well, as you know, every morning we need to put water to boil. And I guess some homes, they have what they call the water filter water tanks, where they just press and the water comes out. So a watch pot really doesn't come to mind for that, especially if they have those water dispenser. But if you really look at a boiling pot, you see that the water really boils, or if you boil it too long, it overflows and ultimately will burn the stove. So I guess we just have to watch what we are doing at all times to prevent accidents at home. Because if you don't keep watch on the pots, on the boiling water, on the pot that's boiling, especially over a stove, it might get the stove burned down, or even if you do if you fill up the kettle too much water, when it boils, it overflows. Ultimately, it'll cut off the electricity and might result in a fire. So ultimately, it's try to keep watch. Thus, it will never really fully boil to the extreme. Am I making sense? I guess not. Yep. So I guess it's just to watch and prevent accidents. That's about it. Thank you. And I don't see the timing.
Thank-
Okay, that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a simile, and it basically said if you supervise, things cannot go wrong. If you over supervise, you may not get the desired results. May I invite the next speaker, please? Who would like to volunteer? Take your choice. Tell me your choice. May I ask, Seaweed Girl, would you like to have a go? Yeah.
Okay. Why not, right? Oh, hi, Jackson. Okay, I'll choose number, oh my God, 10.
Okay.
What?
Don't keep a dog and bark yourself.
Don't keep it up by yourself. What is that? Oh, okay. Well, for one, I don't keep dogs. It's not allowed in my religion, but I know that's not the point.
And you keep barking and barking with yourself. Is it or what?
My husband knows that I'm one person who loves to bark at everyone. My children gets it nonstop. Even like a few minutes ago, my daughter gets a barking from me. Thank God for muted microphones. But essentially, barking to get things done is not the most effective of ways to in life, because there is only so far you can go by using assertion. If you assert your way through, you can only go so far, and people who actually do things for you and listen to what you ask them to do would not do it out of respect. They would most likely do it out of fear, and that will not last very long. I know from experience, and I was that kind of person before. Right now, I'm on my journey towards using a little bit more soft power, which involves a lot more of being cute and gentle, using persuasion skills, and that is a journey for me. And I am really appreciating the development, the improvements that I see in myself. And I know my husband is thankful for me being the softer and more gentle person. So here's to soft power for everyone. Back to you.
Thank you. That was real impromptu and to the point. Wonderful.
Yay!
Yeah. Okay, Uncle Turkey would like to come in.
Yeah.
Okay, Uncle Turkey will choose number 11.
A little of what you fancy does you good. A little of what you fancy does you good.
Yeah, I always like to fancy the chicken here. This chicken toy has always been with me in all my evaluations, and it does good in keeping my evaluation structure extremely steady and fanciful. Because wherever there's a chicken, I can have my chicken evaluation structure being used to evaluate. Yeah, and Seaweed Girl is giving me a lot of new ideas recently. We heard seaweed now, as she's eating her new seaweed, next sheet of seaweed. And as time go by, sometimes you never know that you can inspire others with all kind of nonsensical ideas. Just like now, Jackson is on the way home to try to get and attending our meeting. And sometimes, well, this is one of the best times where you can always find new ideas and interesting ideas every time that you keep on finding. Every time and keep finding all kind of interesting ideas that you never fancy that this kind of idea keeps coming and coming at you. It's whether are you doing it right or are you doing it wrong. So let's keep finding new ideas every time, because a little what fanciful ideas that just come out of a wonderful glass of golden juice, grape juice. Sometimes it will happen, or maybe even a slice of cake of coca or cacao. Maybe it does happen sometimes to just fancy a few the things that you always after. You just always hear that you can always look for the nonsensical idea that you never expected it to happen. And I hand back to the table topic master, Mr. J.
Thank you so much. Who would like to go next? May I invite Dennis?
Sure. I'm having a little trouble with the computer, so right now I'm. How about number 7?
Okay. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Dennis Ham.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. I really like this saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, especially this time of year with all of the holidays. everyone is probably going to be invited out to several parties and will be eating a lot of food, and we'll be putting on a lot of weight if we keep eating a lot of food. So this saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, is very appropriate to this time. So what it really means is don't eat so much, because if you eat too much, you will get heavy. And so that's why I think this is very important for us to pay attention. Just eat a little bit and not eat a lot. Otherwise, you will have to go on a diet. And then you will have to really be careful how much you eat, and you will have to only eat ounces of food so that you don't get pounds of fat on your body. That is something that I really need to pay attention to nowadays, because every time I eat a little bit of food, it adds to my stomach and adds to my fat, and I get heavy. So it reminds me every time I get on the scale. So everybody, you need to be very careful this time of year. Make sure that you only eat ounces of food. Otherwise, you will have to worry about getting pounds of fat on you or off of you after the first of the year. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Dennis. And who is coming next? Can I invite Patricia? Are you online? No one? Anyone would like to take a go? Grandpa Lim Tong Lee, are you online? No. So I guess we don't seem to have more volunteers. Let me hand it back to the Toastmaster of the day. Back to you, Alicia.
Alicia seems to be not online as well.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll just hold on for a while, but I think she went off.
He's there now.
Huh?
Okay, she's back already. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I just said over to you, Alicia. There don't seem to be more able to. Yeah.
Okay, I thought I wanted to give more people a chance to speak. Hey, thank you everyone, especially Table Topic Master, for organizing this thinking on the spot segment. Before we go for our break, I would like to invite our language evaluator, Angela, to let us know what is the word of the day. Angela?
Good evening.
Merry Christmas and good morning, Angela.
The word of the day is celebration. Spelt with a C. Celebration, celebrating. And I would like to ask everybody if we could go round one by one, get everybody to use it in a sentence. So can we start with Jay? Can you please use celebrate in a sentence?
Yeah, it's coming. The time to celebrate is approaching. The time of contests is beginning. I just had my judges training last week, and it is such a wonderful time to participate as either a contest chair or a judge and see a lot of young people coming around and wanting to celebrate their success as a speaker and wanting to make their mark in the world as great speakers. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. That was very good alliteration. Celebrate success. Alliteration, of course, is using the same letter in two nearby words, same starting letter, although they're spelt differently as C and an S. Can we now have Shan Shan to use the word celebrate?
Today is a time to celebrate as we have our charter meeting tonight. So let's get to celebration.
Have a celebration, yes. Thank you. Uncle Turkey.
I celebrate the chicken with Angela to his lancing around in the berry.
Celebrate an unusual celebration. Henrik.
Well, I have only one sentence for that. This celebration times. Come on. Do, 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 do. Thank you.
Oh, that's great. Celebrate with songs. Who else have we got? George, celebrate. Can you unmute and tell us?
I celebrated my 25th birthday earlier this month.
Ah, congratulations.
Sorry for making you guys feel so old.
Okay, now Dennis.
Next week here in the United States, we will have the celebration of the turkey with Thanksgiving Day.
Thank you. Aaron. No, Aaron. Seaweed Girl. I know who you are. Secret, secret.
Yeah, I should have come to this celebration with more seaweed. I'm down to my last packet and I just finished it.
Aha. Celebrating with seaweed, another alliteration. That's unusual.
Okay.
Everyone else is celebrating with turkey, but you were celebrating with seaweed.
Yeah.
Vegetarian. Excellent.
Angela, Aaron is coming in.
Aaron?
Yes.
I can't see Aaron. Hello, Aaron.
What have I missed? Just checking.
We're using the word celebrate in a sentence. Celebrate or celebration.
Just one sentence, right?
You can have two sentences if you're very good.
Celebrate the world of festivals and celebrate the world of joy.
Excellent. Celebrate the world of joy. All right. How about Patricia? I've got the name, Patricia.
Hi.
Ah,
Yes.
hello.
Well, every year we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate New Year's. But every day I would like to celebrate joy. I like to celebrate happiness. I like to celebrate friendship, and mostly let's celebrate life. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. I've got Lim Tong Lee, who seems to be grandpa. Not quite sure how he's got to be grandpa, but I'll call on Lim Tong Lee. Anything happening? Okay. Naveen?
Yeah, what's up, man? What's up? Yes.
Can you use the word celebrate or celebrating or celebration in a sentence?
Well, celebrate. I celebrate this day that I'm alive and kicking. Yep.
Excellent.
Fair enough.
That's good enough.
Right.
Hi. Amos. We haven't had Amos.
He just landed in, Amos. Amos just landed in.
Hello, Amos. Can you
Yeah.
use the word celebrate or celebration or celebrating in a sentence?
Celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm celebrating my
Celebrating work.
Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Must be Confucius who said, what does he say? If you do work you enjoy, you never work a day in your life. Excellent.
If you never work a day in your life, you'll be celebrating. Is it?
Okay. Sajid Kumar.
Yeah, let us all celebrate the birth of this club, of this
Excellent.
online club.
Yes, we are all celebrating. Alicia.
Okay, thank you, Angela. I was quite waiting for you to call me. Yes, I'm definitely in a celebration mood, especially November, which happens to be my birthday month, and also my mom's birthday. So after that, I'm still not done with all the celebration. Next month is coming December, and after that Chinese New Year. So celebrating throughout the next few months, and as you know, I'm a tourist within my own country, so I'll get every opportunity to celebrate whichever event comes or whichever festival comes. Okay, I have to get everyone to take a break now because our next segment is coming soon. So thank you very much, Angela, for giving us the word of the day and getting us all excited about celebration. Now let's all vote for the best table topic speaker. Has everybody voted? So everybody needs to vote so that I can release you all for your 5-minute break. Oh, people, we have only 35% voted. So I'm counting down to 1 minute, please. Please vote. Okay, people, we have less than 1 minute more to vote for your best table topic speaker. Has everybody voted? Our percentage has increased to 58% voted. Okay, we'll close the voting now, because I think most people have voted. I've shared the results, and I would like to announce that we'll have our break time. We'll give 5-minute break. So now the time is 10:33 p.m. Please all come back by 10:40. I give a slight allowance, extra 2 minutes. So 10:40, we'll see everybody back. Thank you. See you later.
Seconds.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope I didn't disrupt your toilet break earlier. I'm so happy to have everyone back from the toilet break. Now we've come to the next segment of the inaugural chapter meeting. This segment is the better speaking segment, which is the most exciting segment. And we shall invite the first speaker. The first speaker is Jay. He will be speaking on the topic Pletico, Astro, Supamo, Reciprocate, and organizing a speech. Can we invite his evaluator, Sajiv, to speak on the project objective? Sajiv? Right, Saji? Is Sajiv around?
Don't think he's around. You know.
Okay. In that case, I will just touch on the or shall I go to the next speaker?
Go
I
for
think
next
going to the next
speaker.
speaker will be better.
Okay. All right. The next speaker will be Mr. Amos. Mr. Amos will be speaking on why put it out there. So can I get
He's not in as well.
George to read on the
Wait. George is not in as well.
okay.
Amos is in, but George is not in.
Okay. Is the third evaluator Lim Cheng Jin in?
CJ, yes, CJ is in.
Okay, so why not?
You start with Shanshan first. Evaluator is Matthew. Let Shanshan go first.
Okay, Shanshan is okay. Shanshan, the third speaker. Shanshan will be Toastmaster Shanshan will be speaking on her speech title is called An Unforgettable Trip. It comes from the engaging humor topic 3, connect with storytelling. So let's get her evaluator. CJ to give us the purpose statement.
CJ is the, wait, who's the evaluator? CJ.
Yes, CJ is the evaluator. CJ, please.
Okay. No, Alicia, check the chat. Check the chat.
Just confirm whether CJ or Mata is the evaluator.
Martha is the evaluator for me. CJ is for Amos, right? Or for... Yep, CJ is Amos.
Oh, there's some changes. Okay. Oh, so sorry about it. So let's get Marty to let us know what is the purpose statement. Marty, over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. I believe that this presentation, which is from the Engaging Humor project number 3, the presentation establishes a story about the speaker's life or a fictitious tale of the speaker's own creation. So it'll be my pleasure to provide feedback to our speaker. Please help welcome to the stage our speaker who will be presenting Unforgettable Trip.
All right. Hendrik, if you're ready for the timing. Hold on, let me just check.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. If all's ready, let's start with the story. Now, how many of you have traveled and yet the travel is still in your mind even though it happened as if it happened yesterday? How many have you had the experience that it's not that easy to forget, as well as just it's stuck in your mind the whole time, even it happens eons, years ago? How many of you have that experience? Yep, I see a lot of raised hands there. Now, this happens in 2002. where a group of students from the Institute of Education, Technical Education in Singapore, went into the mountainous region in China to help to build a wall to prevent wild animals from entering the school. And this school is actually set in the mountain areas. So can you imagine you're surrounded by trees, wild animals, and you need to build a wall at the school gates or the side of the wall just to prevent wild animals from coming in. And for city students like us, we were like, how are we going to survive 15 days in the mountains? The moment we arrived in the school, we were warmly welcomed by the rows of villagers standing right in front of us, welcoming us with clapping hands and signs. Right? We entered the school. We're just wondering, where are we going to sleep? And lo and behold, they actually converted classrooms into bunks, dormitories, where they converted the tables into sleeping areas for us. So what we did is, the moment we got into the dormitories, we set up our tables, our sleeping bags, and just get ready for the night, because it's almost nighttime when we arrive. Now, in the mountains areas, the weather's actually is very extreme. In the day, it actually reached up to 37 degrees. But the moment it reaches midnight, it went down to -2. Bear in mind, it's -2. So from the day 37 degrees to -2 degrees. You can imagine a lot of us was like, wow, the weather is extreme, it's too big. And we're wondering, how are we going to survive? Because we were just in our sleeping bags and in our jackets. We didn't expect that the weather would turn to -2 at night. So sure enough, with the tropical fruits that is being offered by the villagers, the generosity of the villagers, where they gave us mangoes, rambutans, the tropical type of fruits that you can find in the region of Hainan in China. And you know that everybody, once you take all these tropical fruits, you tend to get a lot of illness combined with weather changes. So a few of us actually had to be sent to the hospital to drip while we are doing volunteer work. And that is one trip where we really didn't foresee that we need to go to the hospital for drips that day because of too many fruits. Mangoes, rambutans, lychees, all the fruits that you name it, that can give you heat stroke combined with the heat. Now, as we were building it, all of us will form a line, and that is where we actually seen cement being mixed from scratch. And for the city-state students like us, when we seen anything, it's already finished. We didn't really see it being mixed from scratch. Like the amount of sand, amount of cement combined together, and other chemicals that make the cement for the bricks. And that to us at the time was like, wow, oh, this is how the sand goes in, the cement goes in. We were like, our eyes was like bulged out, wondering, wow, how come we never see it before? Because I don't think we actually ventured into construction sites in Singapore. I don't think so, that right? So while we built the wall, at the same time, we learned that some of the students actually had to trek 50 km from their home into the school. It's actually 25 km from the village to the school, 25 km back. And that is through a mountainous area. And for Singapore, running 2.5 km is already taking the breath out of us already. The moment we finish our 2.5 km run, we are flat on the ground. Not to mention a 25 km walk. So that day, we walked the longest, 50 km all the way, to and fro. And it's across a mountainous region. We have to cross mountains just to get to the village. And that is an experience most of us Singapore students would never forget. Because, like I mentioned, running a 2.4 km is already killing us. Imagine walking 25 km back and forth every day for school. Can you imagine that? So that is how we learned that the villagers have to do that, and we actually took a trek as well. So 2 days into the school building, the wall building, we're wondering, what else can we do? So we had actually planned our meals. In fact, most of our meals are planned by us. Our breakfast, our lunch, and our dinner are cooked by the students themselves. So our students, they actually had to learn, especially for the Muslim students, how to slaughter a chicken on the spot. And for that students, they had to learn from their fathers, because in Singapore, we buy chickens already killed, and we don't have the chance to slaughter a chicken at anywhere. So that is where this experience comes in, and they have to learn how to slaughter a chicken before coming on this. Right, so I guess I have gone into too much of the storyline. And just to conclude, through this experience, we actually learned the importance of the efficient transport system in Singapore and the comfortable life that we have in Singapore. So hopefully we will experience another type of volunteer trips again sometime, and to have our mind open again. Thank you everyone for listening. Back to you, Alicia.
Thank you, Shanshan, for that wonderful sharing of your unforgettable story. It makes me think of mine. I have so many, but sometimes too many stories in my mind. So I'll try to think of it tonight. Okay, and let's move on to the next speaker. Okay, can we go backtrack and go back to Jay? Is Jay's evaluator Sanjeev there? So Jay will be speaking on from the Competent Communication Manual Project 2, and his title is Pledido Astro using a speech. So the speech will be 5 to 7 minutes. So over to you, Sajiv.
Sure. Jay's evaluator is actually George, so do note about that.
Some changes, okay.
Yes.
Can we invite George? George, share with us project objectives.
Hello.
Yes, George.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so this is a competent communicator manual project 2. The objectives of this project is to for the member to select an appropriate outline which allows listeners to easily follow and understand their speech, to make the message clear with supporting material directly contributing to that message, use appropriate transitions when moving from one idea to another, and to create a strong opening and conclusion. Time is 5 to 7 minutes of messaging.
Can we have Jay to start his speech? Over to you, Jay.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. The topic may have puzzled you. Platico, Asro Supamo, Resequip. Now you will say, what gibberish? Is it a code language? What is it talking about? I changed my name here to Professor J, and in real life I was a professor. And we professors are used to using a lot of abbreviations and acronyms to make our point. It also helps our students to remember things. Now, when I was teaching marketing management, one of the topics was how to tell about the sales manager's job description. And I used these words, Platico of Asro Supamo Resequip. Now, let me unfold it for you. Resequip. A sales manager recruits, that is RE. So when we take an abbreviation or acronym, we choose first 1 or 2 or 3 letters to remember. So RE is for recruiting. SE is for selecting. You have to select among various people and find the right choice and select the right sales people for your team. The next comes is equipping. One needs to equip the salespeople, provide them with the right inputs, give them the list of the clients or the designated areas which they will travel, the territory which they have to go. I'm sure those of you who have sales experience may know about it already. What comes next is AS. AS is for assigning them their territory or the area where they will work for, familiarize with their book of existing customers and all the prospects which they have in their area. Thereafter comes paying. We need to also agree what we will pay. And usually salespeople work for money. So apart from their salary, there has to be an element of bonuses, commissions, and also achievement-oriented non-monetary benefits. So a sales manager decides from his budget what is it that they will pay. The third part, which is Asro Supamo, is routing, ASRO. RO is routing them, telling them which route to take, because a sales manager needs to constantly keep in mind to track them. Then comes supervising, paying, and motivating. MO is for motivating. Finally, coming to the Platico. Platico is nothing but planning, directing, coordinating, controlling, and communicating with the customers. So you can see, even for a Toastmaster, when you're planning a speech, you could use this simple Platico Asro Supamo Resequip. This is a technique in German called EKS, Energo Cybernetic System, where you can learn from one function or one subject and go to another and utilize it in a very effective way. So when you plan a speech, you are required to do planning. You also need to direct yourself. You have to coordinate with your VP education and others. And then you go into the next stage where you need to control your own speech timing. Timing is of most importance in Toastmasters. So as we go, then we get the assigned slot. We don't, of course, get paid, and we self-motivate ourselves. But many of such things can be very useful. And I use the term called cure. Cure is for, being credible, having an understanding, making a rememberable speech, And finally, it should be enjoyable. So I hope that you have learned some new technique of creating acronyms and making it a habit to learn and remember your subject. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmasters.
Okay, thank you, Jay, for giving us such a in-depth. It was really very enlightening. So without much ado, let's move on to the next speaker, which is Amos. Amos will be speaking on to inform Project 1, and his title is, and the title of his speech is, Why Put It Out There? So let's get his evaluator, CJ, to share with us the project objectives. CJ?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Yeah. Okay, Amos, the purpose of this talk is for the speaker to present an informative speech of 5 to 7 minutes. The information should be presented in an interesting manner with clear organization. The speaker should support the facts or points with statistics, quotes, or experts' opinions. Good luck, Amos.
All right, let's invite Amos.
Yeah, hello.
Amos, over to you.
Okay. A wonderful evening, fellow Toastmasters. And to start off, I was asked about my speech title by Willie. So, why put it out there? And many times we are always putting our information up in the web. So the web is www, which stands for World Wide Web. And anybody know what a URL is? Well, a URL stands for Universal Resource Locator. But essentially, it is an address to a web page or a website. In my case, the URL is sent and achieved on the speech, Toastmaster speech. Some of us write our speech, some of us don't. I have written out my speech since Icebreaker. Okay, and when I was creating some of my web pages, I wonder what is the motivation that gives people to publish their work, their stuff, their pictures, and even their documents in the World Wide Web. It's the same question I asked myself when I was updating my web pages. In other words, why you put it out there? A noted web publisher named Eric G gave 4 motivators. According to him, there are 4 Fs that motivate people to publish in the web. So the 4 Fs are, firstly, fame, fortune, fun, and philanthropy. Of course, philanthropy doesn't start with F, but hey, it's much easier to remember that way. So the internet or the web not only connects computers, it connects people as well. And some people have become well-known and respected within a certain group or sphere of discussion. This group could extend to communities all around the world. If you are a subject matter expert, what better way to advise and promote yourself through the internet? Potentially, you can have an audience of millions. When you apply for a job, you advertise yourself, you promote yourself. You want others to know about you. You want your skills, your expertise to be known by potential employers. My homepage, the website shows link earlier, but how do you know if you are popular enough or if people even visit your site? There are tools like site counters or statistics to help you. So for blogging for fortune, this is probably the classic motivator. Money is an extremely strong motivator. They say advertising a product on the internet is like having your own booth in a World Exhibition Fair. And that's particularly true. Partially in the sense that they need to know you first before they buy into you. Even bloggers themselves can get in the bandwagon through ad or advertisements. Some really good bloggers have ads that generate millions for them. I have got Google Ads, but it hit on my blog not enough to make me rich anytime. Anyway, so some people do blogging for fun. But there are people who build websites, blogs, because they just enjoy doing it. They put pictures or even pictures of anything, even their children. And it's a way to communicate with others who have similar interests as well. So some people have different hobbies. You can connect through that way as well. So blogging for philanthropy. Some of the philanthropic websites are Garrett Kellin, Feeling National Red Cross, World Vision, Habits for Humanity, and many more. Philanthropy is about voluntary giving, your sharing on a personal level. It could mean sharing what you have, what you know. So, all in all, that brings me back to the website thing. When I started out as a Toastmaster, I had trouble writing speeches. So sometimes I do find information from the web as well. And it gives plenty of ideas for speech formatting and even how to craft your speech as well. So to all fellow Toastmasters around the world who have posted their speech on the web, and from there I have new ideas for my own speeches, and in a way it inspired me to work on my speeches as well. The web is created and it gives a lot of resources to all of us, and I have greatly benefited from it. So I hope you all learned something, and back to you, Madam Toastmasters.
Thank you, Amos. I've always been fascinated with online, whatever is online, and thank you for sharing so much information with us. We've really learned a lot. Let's move on to the next speaker. The next speaker will be Dennis. And Dennis will be speaking on communicating on video, topic 5, project 5. And his speech title is 3 Tips for Overcoming Public Speaking Fear. So can we get his evaluator, Sanjay, to share with us the project objective for this advanced manual, Communicating on Video Project 5, Instructing on the Internet. Over to you, Sanjay.
Alicia, this is Dennis. Who are you introducing as a speaker?
You, Dennis.
I'm not doing that project. That's not mine.
Oh, that's not yours. Okay, I'm so sorry. Who is doing that project?
That project is Tong Li's project.
Okay, so let's have Tong Li to do the project, but his evaluator is Dennis. Dennis can, just nice Dennis, you are his evaluator.
Oh, Alicia, you check your chat. Okay, Dennis evaluator is Sanji. Jay's
know.
evaluator is George.
Okay, all right, so
Oh, okay,
Dennis,
Dennis, correct.
yeah, I'm correct, but who wants to go first? Dennis, if you like to go first, you can go first. Your project is on icebreaker. So let's have Sanjeev.
Yeah.
To
Okay,
share
then. Yeah.
project purpose statement. Thank you, Sanjeev.
The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Okay, Dennis, all the best.
All right, Dennis, over to you.
Okay, I have my own timing device too, so I can see myself here. Okay, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters, what I'm going to do today is share my pathways in Toastmasters with what I've been doing over the many years that I have been a member. I've been a member of at least 3 Toastmasters districts, and I'm going to share my paths in each one of those districts. Let's see if I can get this shown right. Okay, here is a map of the western part of the United States, and I'm currently in this part of the country, right here in the middle of California, and that's starting in District 33. If I get this, there we go. Eventually, I will end up moving up north, about 1,000 miles north, up to the state of Washington, into District 2, right around Seattle. And the third leg of my trip will be moving back down to Los Angeles in Southern California to District 1. And those are the paths of my pathways in Toastmasters. I started in Toastmasters many years ago. Actually, about 1973 was when I started Toastmasters. I did poorly on a job interview, and word got back to my father that I didn't do very well on that interview. So what happened was that my father was a Toastmaster, and since I was living at home, he decided to take me to breakfast one morning. Well, actually, the breakfast meeting was a Toastmasters meeting. And that Toastmasters club the name was Hanford Toastmasters. And remember that name because that will be significant later on. I went to school to become an electronic engineer, and that's what I tried to do. I went down to Los Angeles for that. The interview that I did poorly on was with a big power company down in Los Angeles. Did poorly and word got back. Anyway, the rest of the story is that I became a member of Toastmasters in Hanford. I stayed there for about a year. I applied up to Seattle because one of my uncles happened to work for the government. He worked for the Federal Aviation Administration in Seattle. And he told me that I should make an application up there. Since I went to school to become an engineer, I should be an engineer. Says, okay, fine. So I turned in my application. It took over a year for me to finally hear back. Since it was a government job, it took a while for them to process my application and offer me an opportunity for an interview. So I got a letter from the FAA and told me to come up to Seattle for an interview. I went up there. I did well. So that's my first move with the government to Seattle. And that's where I moved from District 33, where I'm physically located and currently located right now in Central California. I went north about 1,000 miles to Seattle, to the state of Washington, and became an engineer up there with the FAA, and also became very active in Toastmasters. While up there in Seattle, I went through all of the chairs in the Toastmasters organization. I was an area governor. I was a division governor. I ended up moving up to the top 3. And in those days, we were not directors. We were actually called governors. While I was up there, I was I was in the top 3, and I was actually the number 2 on let me back up. The names of the top 3 have changed over the years. When I was a district governor, we had administrative lieutenant governor, education lieutenant governor, and district governor. When I was at the number 2 position, the education lieutenant governor, I was 6 months into my term, and the person who was going to be district governor moved to California. So what happened was I had to step forward and become a district governor about a year earlier. What happened in about 1986, I decided my parents are getting older and I need to get back down to California where I could be closer to them. So I ended up transferring myself to the Los Angeles office of the FAA. While I was down there, I met up with my friend who had left me in Seattle and ended up working with her as she was working through the chairs in District 1. District 1 is pretty much in the greater Los Angeles area. And as she moved on up through the chairs and became the district governor, I followed her and became her assistant. Well, 2 years later, about 1992, my mom got sick. And being the number 1 son and feeling obligated to come home, I moved back here to California. So I'm back to Central California to District 33. Here in District 33, I actually dropped out of Toastmasters for a while because I had to help run the family business. In running the family business, I didn't have time for Toastmasters. So I was out of Toastmasters for about 3 years. I was out of Toastmasters for 10 years. I rejoined Toastmasters because a new club was being chartered. Happens that the name of the Toastmasters club was Hanford Toastmasters. And, oh boy, it's a sign for me to get back into Toastmasters. So I rejoined Toastmasters about 3 years ago and have since been working in District 33, getting back very active in the district. I was acted as an area governor a few years ago, and now this year I'm helping to mentor our division director. Well, this has been my path. As you can see, I've gone full circle. I started in District 33. I moved north to District 2, came back down through California to District 1, and now I'm very active in District 33. Well, the new part of this story is now I'm part of this club in District U, and it's been a very nice trip and a very enjoyable trip, and hopefully I will be able to stay in Toastmasters for many more years. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Dennis. Oh, I just love icebreakers. Now I know you so well. Okay, anyway, let's go back to our other speaker, who was Tong Lee, which is the last speaker for tonight. His speech will be on 3 tips for overcoming public speaking fear. And he's speaking on the advanced manual communicating on video project 5, instructing on the internet. So let's get our evaluator, Dennis, to share with us the project objective. Over to you, Dennis.
Now this one, he is working out of one of the advanced manuals communicating on video, and this one's a little bit different than most. It's supposed to be the project is instructing on the internet, and what he's supposed to do is do an instruction training session for 5 to 7 minutes, and then we evaluate him actually on his presentation. So his first presentation is the 5 to 7 minute presentation is supposed to be recorded, and then it is played back, and we're supposed to evaluate the playback. So I'm not sure where we set up to do that. We'll have to have a separate playback video for this 5 to 7 minute presentation. Is that available?
When you are doing it at like a Toastmasters meeting, so it's already appearing on video. As in, I think I'm literally instructing on the internet.
Okay, so I'll evaluate your initial presentation and we will not have a playback.
So I don't think maybe you can just evaluate me on right now the video.
Okay.
Because usually there's a club meeting where they meet up and then they record the video, so it looks like what you see on the video.
Okay, so I'll evaluate your presentation on the original. Okay, let's see. It's according to the assignment, you're supposed to try to avoid using a lecture and notes, speak while standing, although it's kind of difficult in this setting. So you're supposed to try to maintain eye contact with the camera and use visual aids if necessary, and try to speak with your audience and not at them. So that is the overall project, and that's what I'll be doing that will be the criteria that I'll be using to evaluate this presentation. Okay, back to you, Madam Toastmaster, to introduce our speaker.
Thank you, Dennis. So let's put our hands to welcome Toastmaster Tong Lee.
Oh, before that, I would just like to specify that my speech is meant to be like a video appearing online for a non-Toastmasters audience.
All right, thank you for sharing that with us. So over to you, Toastmaster Tong Lee.
Sure, thank you. Hi there, Tong Lee here, and welcome to another episode of Toastmasters Online. Public speaking is one of life's greatest challenges that many of us may struggle with. And this is something that has a very simple reason. Unless your job entails speaking to an audience regularly, like a lecturer, a teacher, or a trainer, public speaking is just not something that we do regularly. And when we do any public speeches, it's during big moments where we have to give a presentation during work or deliver a wedding toast where the stakes are so much higher. No wonder public speaking fear is so real. And that's why in this video today, I'd like to share with you 3 simple tips on how to better manage and overcome public speaking fear. Tip number 1. Relax and smile. Have you ever experienced this before? When you're about to give an important speech, you feel your heart pounding, your throat feels dry, your voice maybe sounds a bit shaky, and your stomach may feel a bit upset. You are experiencing anxiety, and that is very common. But do you know that the flip side is also true? When you're better able to manage the physical signs of stress, you're also able to reduce anxiety. So how can you do this? You can do this by preparing before any moment, before speaking, by taking in a deep breath and holding it for a count of 3. Then let out your breath and smile. It may not seem like much, but it works. Because taking in that deep breath helps slow down and calm down your racing heart. And that smile helps you look and feel more confident. Tip number 2, focus on your message rather than on yourself. Many times when we come up to speak, we tend to worry too much about how others think about us or how they may judge us for the way that we speak. Am I too stiff? Is my voice too high? Am I looking nervous? All these negative thoughts cloud our mind, and they in turn can make you more self-conscious. And when you're more self-conscious, you become more nervous, and this creates a negative loop. How then can you break out of this trap? By putting the focus on your message instead. What is the purpose of my speech? What do I hope my audience learn and take away? Am I getting my message across? When you are able to put the focus on your message instead, you are better able to serve your audience, and they would appreciate you more for it. And tip number 3, practice, practice, and practice. And I don't just mean practicing your speech, although that is very important as well, but also practicing public speaking skills, because public speaking is a skill. And like any skill, it needs to be learned, applied, and honed. And you need to practice it regularly to maintain and retain your skills. Hence, you need to look for opportunities to practice your public speaking skills. How then can you do that? Well, you can consider joining a Toastmasters club. Toastmasters International is a non-profit international organization that helps individuals develop leadership and public speaking skills. And the Toastmasters Club meets regularly for members to practice their public speaking skills when they are able to deliver speeches at the meetings. And it also provides an ideal environment with low stakes where you can make mistakes and learn. Yet those speaking experiences that you take away from those meetings can help you better mentally, emotionally, and physically prepare for those high stakes moments when you have to give an important presentation or speech. And those are the 3 tips that I've shared with you today for how to better manage and overcome your public speaking fear. Public speaking fear is something that is very natural, but it's not something that you have to live with all the time. And with these 3 tips, I hope that wish you all the best for your future speeches. Thank you.
Thank you, Tong Lee, for that very good speech, because public speaking, I believe, is the #1 fear for most people out there. So I really thank you for sharing with us those tips. I will certainly apply it, and hopefully everyone here also applies your tips. Now we have come to the end of the better speaking segment. And so can we get our timer, Hendrik, to let us know the timing of all the speakers? Hendrik, are you there?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Toastmaster, and thank you all the speakers for very good speaking. So we begin with Shamshan. She was over the line totally, 8:13. Jay had 5:09. Amos 7:05. Janice 6.10. And Grandpa Lim Tong Lee 5:26. And that is my report for those speakers. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you, Hendrik, for informing us the timing for all the speakers. Let's now vote for the best speaker for today. Now remember, when you vote, don't vote for the most handsome guy. Unfortunately, there's no female speakers today. Okay, we are almost done. I have just a few more seconds to 1 minute, and we'll call an end to this polling. So a few seconds more before I end the polling. All right, I'll end it now. Okay, I would like to check with Chartered President. Can we have just maybe short 3-minute toilet break before the evaluators? Give the evaluators some time to prepare the evaluation.
He says 5 minutes.
Okay, yes, 5 minutes. Sorry, I was too anxious. 5 minutes will be better for evaluators. So the clock here says 11:32. Let's come back to the meeting at 11:37. So I'll see everyone later.
Oh, you sure you can start already?
I welcome back everyone to the third segment of our inaugural chapter meeting, the better thinking, better evaluation segment, whereby we get the evaluators to evaluate the speakers' speeches earlier on. The first evaluator we have is Marty Oberg. She will be evaluating Shanshan's speech. Can I invite Marty over to evaluate her speech? Marty, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. I apologize. The house phone just decided to ring, and it'll be fine. So I'll wait another second or two, and it should hang up here.
No worries.
Sometimes here we get a lot of phone calls by robots, and they don't really have a whole lot to say. So we don't even answer the phone. Well, it truly is my pleasure today to evaluate our first speaker, Shanshan, who was speaking from the engaging humor. This presentation was to present and share a story, and the story that was chosen was an unforgettable trip. And Shanshan, there are so many things that I was impressed with. First of all, I loved your enthusiasm, your method of creating a setting, explaining the situation, and clearly engaging the audience. I thought you had wonderful word choices that brought the audience into the story. Some of the things you might want to work on is in your presentation, it gives you an opportunity to communicate in a manner of what's called enhanced conversational style. And this is just a special type of communicating that is sometimes a little outside of our comfort zone. And we can practice here in Toastmasters utilizing these techniques. So I would suggest you may want to look at ways to enhance your conversational style, but stay focused on your general purpose. And today's presentation I thought was for entertainment. I thought you did a marvelous job, and you left me wanting more. So that's always a good sign when after a presentation, your audience is anxious to have heard more. A challenge for yourself would be to practice with the intention of working within the timelines. And therefore, you would have been able to present a little better conclusion. So overall, clarity, the spoken language was very clear for me. Vocal variety was exceptional. In this environment, eye contact is always a challenge, but I thought you did very well with that. And gestures, yes, you presented us with gestures. It was wonderful. You looked very comfortable. And when a presenter is comfortable, then the audience is comfortable. Your story had an intention of entertaining, and I found it to be extremely entertaining. So thank you again for the opportunity to present my evaluation of your presentation, Shanshan, and I look forward to hearing future presentations from you. Back to our Toastmaster of the day.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, DTM Marty, for the wonderful evaluation of our speaker, Shanshan. Next up, we have another evaluator, George. He will be evaluating on Jay's speech. So I'd like to invite George, Toastmaster George, to present his evaluation. George, please. George, are you there?
Yes. Hi. Can everyone hear me? Am I too
Yes,
soft?
can hear you. Try to speak more clearly. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm a bit too soft, right? Take my mic. I'll just hold my mic. So this is better, right? Okay. Hello. Hello, hello. Am I back? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, George. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I do apologize if I cut out suddenly because I think my internet is a bit intermittent. So, right. First of all, thank you, Jay, for giving us your speech today, the project 2 of the Competent Communicator Manual. And you told us about how we can do our planning, not just at work or in school, and also in Toastmasters when we're planning our speeches. So Jay went very in depth into planning, his planning styles, how he does planning. He told us about the 2 acronyms that he used and how we can plan better with the use of these 2 acronyms. And I thought that it was also quite topical. I wrote topical because I felt that this topic
I cannot hear George.
Hello, hello. Hello. Okay. A few points of improvement for Jay is I hope he can give us more concrete examples of points that he told us. So, for example, how we can use it in our daily lives, or even better, tell us the story about how you used that example in your planning for your own speeches and so on. And so another point is how we can repeat the acronyms to me, to us all, because I didn't quite catch some of them, so maybe you can repeat those in your conclusion. So you keep repeating, you drive home the message to the audience so we can keep it in our heads. And also, one of the more important things I want to challenge you to do is to find a message and a purpose for your speech. So for this speech, maybe your purpose can be telling us how, tell us to plan better. So you can say, he who does not he who fails to plan plans to fail, or something like that. Give us a quote to spur us on. So like a call to action in your conclusion, something else for us to bring home, think about, and perhaps act upon. So all in all, your speech was great, well structured, well delivered, and well on your way to becoming a better speaker. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, George. Thank you, George, for evaluating Jay's speech. Next up, we have another evaluator, Toastmaster CJ, who will be evaluating on Toastmaster Amos's speech. So let's invite CJ to evaluate Amos's speech. CJ?
Okay, testing. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Okay. Fabulous Friday, fellow Toastmaster. That was a great speech from Amos, and it's my pleasure to evaluate him. The things he excels in, he's calm, cool, and confident. He's always smiling, and his look is very pleasant to us, very friendly. He has a great body structure and well organized, opening, body, and end with the conclusion. His title is also very interesting. Topic is a very well-researched speech. He shared with us a lot about the internet and teaches us a lot about the different technical terms like the site counter, traffic, and statistics to introduce more things about the internet. The things that he can improve on is his eye contact, because I can see that most of the time he's not looking directly into the camera. Instead, he's looking down into the camera. For the vocal variety, I find that the tone is quite monotonous. Maybe he can ask the question with more curiosity. For example, how do you know whether if you are popular enough? You can ask a very special question. The challenge for Amos is to clearly engage the audience by asking more questions. Start by asking a question like, do you know what is www? He can also use a prop to show the audience. By using the prop, a visual aid, as a picture paints 1,000 words. All in all, in conclusion, Amos is an eloquent speaker. He is as cool as a cucumber. He excels in his speech structure, and he has very well-researched presentation. Just to take note of, work on and improve your eye contact and vocal variety. The challenge for you is to engage the audience by asking more questions and using props. It's a fantastic speech, and I look forward to your next speech, Amos. Back to you, Alicia.
Thank you, CJ. That was a very nice, good evaluation of Amos's speech. Let us move on to the next evaluator, Toastmaster Sanjay, who will be evaluating DTM Dennis's speech. So let's invite Toastmaster Sanjay. Sanjay, over to you.
A wonderful Friday evening to every one of you, and especially to DTM Dennis. Dennis, it was very heartening to listen to you speak about your journey in Toastmasters. And I would like to evaluate your speech using the acronym LEAPS. L for leadership. What came across through your speech is the leadership aspect. I saw how you stepped up to take up various leadership roles throughout your journey, like the area governor, the district governor, as well as the division governor. It shows that you have learned a lot through taking up these roles in your Toastmasters journey. Second thing that came across through your speech is E for empathy. Your speech showed that Toastmasters runs in your family. It was your father who actually initiated you to Toastmasters by taking you for that breakfast meeting at Hanford Toastmasters Club. The second thing is the sincerity that you showed when you took a 10-year break from Toastmasters to attend to your family commitments. The next is A for articulation. You have a very relaxed and conversational tone of voice, and it helps the audience to connect to you well. And P is for prop. You use the prop at the start of your speech to show how chronologically your speech was so well structured, how you moved from California, District 33, to Seattle, District 2, and finally to Los Angeles, District 1, and full circle back to California. So this speech had a natural closure in the sense that you started off with Hanford Toastmasters Club and you ended with the same club. So, and the last thing is the structure. It was very well organized, chronological order. It came across very well. Now, what could you do better to lift your speech to another level? I felt what you learned most in Toastmasters was leadership, but perhaps you could relate to us one or two anecdotes about your experience with one of those clubs. How did your speeches go? How did you network with your members? What are some of the stories that you can tell us that will perhaps help us understand your journey even better? So all in all, I loved your presentation and look forward to hearing you more. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjay, for that very well said evaluation of DTM tennis ham. Now, we finally have the last evaluator, DTM tennis, to evaluate Tong Lee's speech. So I'd like to invite DTM Dennis to evaluate his speech. Over to you, Dennis.
Hey, thank you, Madam Toastmaster. And Tong Lee, your presentation today was really great. You're working out of one of our extra manuals and it's communicating on video. And what a better place to showcase that but here on a video conferencing meeting. Your project was to give a presentation, a training presentation, and you told us up front that it was to a non-Toastmasters group. So we understood what the situation was. And you picked a topic that we all knew about anyway, so that we pretty much knew where you're going with it. So you were actually trying to really practice the presentation, showing how you can do a good job using the video that we have. You had some good graphics in there, which kind of broke up the presentation so that we're not always looking at your face, but you had some other things for us to look at, which made it a little bit more different and interesting. You had good eye contact through the presentation, and your voice, you had very good vocal variety. So I'm going to focus a little bit more on the actual presentation. And one of the first things I noticed was that the way your camera was set up, we only really saw basically from your collar on up. We didn't, you need either wider angle lens or to move the camera a little farther away so that we could see more of the rest of the lower part of your body, because you were using gestures also. And I could see that your hands were moving. However, your hands were to the point where we only saw roughly half of your hands because the camera was not located far enough away for us to see the rest of your gestures. I knew that you were using gestures, but because of the way your camera was set up, we couldn't see all of your gestures. So as far as the overall presentation was, I think the information was good. You had all of the makings of a good presentation with your vocal variety, and you had very good eye contact looking at your camera. The only part that I would suggest for improvement would be to either get a wider angle lens or back farther away from the camera so that we could see the little bit lower part of your body. So at least when you did move your hands up for gestures, we could see them rather than only seeing a little bit of them moving down below. Very good presentation, enjoyed it. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, DTM Dennis, and for giving us valuable tips on online speaking. Now that we have come to the end of segment 3, let's now vote for the best evaluator. And since we have one female evaluator, please do not vote for the only female evaluator. Please vote for the best evaluation. And I'm happy to say that everyone has, all the evaluators have spoken within the time, allocated time. So there's no disqualification. We just have about 20 seconds before I call the voting to an end. All right, I'll end the voting and share the results. Can we have a drum roll for the best table topic speaker? The best table topic speaker was number 11. Can someone help me? Who is number 11?
I think I saw Angela.
Oh, that's Angela. Okay. Congratulations to Angela. She's the best table topic speaker. And let's have the drum roll for the best speaker for tonight. Okay, the best speaker is Tong Lee. Yay!
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And finally, the best evaluator. Can we have the drum roll, please? Okay, the best evaluator is DTM Dennis Ham. Can we give him a round of applause? Actually, it was quite a tough fight. Now that we have all the winners, let's have a bit of feedback on today's meeting.
Alicia, do you miss the LE or anything? Or LE
Oh,
done? All done.
Yes, I keep missing the LE. Yeah, my apologies. I would like to invite Toastmaster Angela to give us a report of a language evaluation. Over to you, Angela.
Good evening, everybody. I was delighted with the way everybody was able to use the word of the day, which was celebrate or celebration. And the two I particularly liked were celebrate success, which was an alliteration, and also celebrate the seaweed. We had another alliteration, fame, fortune, fun, and philanthropy. Although the fourth one was spelled with PH, the sound was the same. I particularly liked the word mango, which was very visual. I could immediately see a mango. I like Marty's use of the adjective marvelous, which is alliterative with her name. And I liked leadership and articulation. And I liked the way the Toastmaster of the day talked about valuable tips. I will now pick on one or two things I think could be improved. Somebody said New Year's what? New Year's Day, New Year's Eve. We normally expect another word to follow New Year's. I also heard anybody know. I would have said, does anybody know? I heard why you, when it should have been why do you? And I heard George is not as well, which is a mixture of a negative and a positive. I would have said George is not either. Then fruits was used correctly to mean different types of fruit. When there are different numbers of fruit of the same type, then the plural is fruit. Or you could say individual pieces of fruit. 2 or 3 people didn't understand the idioms, and I suggest you get a book of idioms which you can buy online and look them up. I also heard we seen, which should have been we saw, and then the day before yesterday, we had seen. And I heard a lot of us was, which should have been a lot of us were. And an Americanism I noticed, presentation, when the British would say presentation. So it depends what your audience is, whether you're speaking to Americans or British people. So all in all, a very interesting evening. Thank you for using the word of the day, celebration or celebrate. You can all celebrate your good use of English. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Angela, for giving us the English language evaluation and sharing with us the good use of and the bad use of language. So we have learned quite a bit from you. Now let's come to the feedback section. Can we have some feedback on tonight's meeting?
Dennis, you can start first.
Who?
Dennis.
Oh, Dennis, okay.
I'll go ahead and start. I had some technical difficulties on my end, so I was late getting on and I had a few troubles, but the overall meeting I think went pretty well. I think one thing though I noticed was during table topics, there was quite a bit of silence and people were not willing to stand up and, well, in this case, put their hand up and speak. So I would recommend that whoever is topic master just go ahead and select people rather than wait for them to decide that they want to speak, and that'll keep things moving. Otherwise, we have a lot of dead time there. The overall, everything else I think went well. I was not paying attention to the timer for my presentations. I had my own timing device, so I was using that. So I wasn't really paying attention to see how well that worked this week, but I think everything else went pretty well. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Dennis.
Oli, how about you? Feedback.
Yeah, I have to apologize that I have to miss certain parts of the meeting just now because I had to attend to something personal at the time. That's why I was putting the sound on, and that's why I also was keeping in touch with the meeting updates. I thought one of the challenges for myself personally is that it's because it's a night meeting maybe for us Singaporeans, we couldn't do the applause thing, so sometimes it feels a bit silent at times. So with everyone watching, I think the challenge is like how to make the meeting more lively. Yeah, I think you can do what Grandpa Gerald is doing now by showing support, but I really love how the meeting is very successful with so many table topic speakers, so many speakers and evaluators sharing their experiences and feedback. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, Master, your feedback is.
Thank you very much. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself, and it's a time for a meeting that fits into my schedule. I think that's what's unique about Toastmasters is that there are so many ways to enjoy the Toastmaster family. And I thank you very much, Willie, for inviting me, and I hope that I have an opportunity to come back and visit. It was marvelous. Again, marvelous Marty, to hear all the fantastic speeches and the evaluations. They were off the charts, super duper.
So it's different for your club, right? Online presenter, right? Yeah, get it correct. Online presenter is Firebirds. Sorry, Firebirds.
Yes, that's my home club. Yes.
Yes,
Thank
it's different or it's the same? Is it the same?
I belong to an online club, Firebirds, and I
Okay.
belong to a brick and mortar club here in the middle of the United States, in the state of Illinois, in the city of Peoria. We have a brick and mortar club that I attend on Tuesday mornings. So
Okay.
I have a variety of experiences, and I'm so pleased that this is also part of my Toastmaster experience. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Fantastic, fantastic meeting. Thank you.
You are always welcome to join us for the meeting.
Thank you.
And I will be part of Firebirds pretty soon. Okay. I think let's talk about. Okay, next speaker. Who's the next speaker? George. Your feedback.
Hi. It was pretty challenging. This is JJ. Everybody saying hi to JJ. JJ. Hi. I thought it was pretty challenging to give an evaluation in video in this kind of meeting format. It's a good experience for me, and yeah, it was rather challenging to me because I was on the taxi listening to Jay's speech, so I couldn't really catch a lot of his content. I didn't really register a lot of his content, but I managed to get the gist of what he's saying at least. So yeah, that's what my experience is. JJ.
Okay. Let us go to Sam.
Okay. Well, today's meeting is great, and hopefully we have more. And of course, changes in programs are here and there, so that is to be expected. Hopefully we can try to get the timing device thing down to the timing device thing down. Otherwise, it will kind of difficult to keep on checking on our own timing device.
Okay. Okay. Sanjay.
Yeah, it was a wonderful meeting. The feedback, the same thing, the table topics and the timer device, the two things. Table topics, probably it's a good idea to address the speakers directly, call them by name and ask them to speak. And the timing device, it is good to see where we stand on it, because I didn't know whether I had to end my speech. That's one thing. And I mean, in this format, of course, I couldn't see gestures, and so I concentrated more on the content of the speech and structure of the speech. Yeah, but overall, I enjoyed it. It's so nice to see people from all over the world and to connect with each other. Thanks.
Okay. Hendrik.
Yes. Thank you. I've been, I used to say I learn something new every day, every time I've been here. And I must admit this meeting are proving very well. It goes better and better for every day. Now you keep holding actually on time. It was actually a very good timing this time. And about the timing, the complaining about the timing devices. Yes, I admit that, but you can actually, before you hold the speech, looking up for me my video monitor is have it saved on there so you can see me. You can plan for that even the next time. That should be no problem with that, because I'm working on to see it loud and clearly. I can work on I can speak high to say the color. But just look after me in those on where I stand. Then you can see me waving with yellow, red, and lights. That's
Never mind, I will work offline with you.
yes. But otherwise, it was a very good meeting, and I like it very good. You have a very good speaker and very good guest speakers here. So I thank you very much for a great day, and hope to see you again soon.
Okay, sure. Okay. Mr. Orov. Yeah, next.
I'm actually watching TV. Okay, since everyone is being a very nice person, I'll be a bad guy for a bit. Overall meeting is pretty okay. In terms of flow and everything, great evaluation standard. Thanks to Marty and Dennis for showing us how the evaluation standard can be actually helpful to everyone. Love the evaluation styles and variety, which helps the club to improve. Obviously, we need to talk about challenges. First things first, Shanshan actually mentioned a very good point about changes to agenda. So one thing that I would like to challenge our Toastmaster today, Alicia, I know Alicia is very, very hardworking today, is to follow up and check and verify all the information beforehand, like before the meeting starts, like 30 minutes ago, 30 minutes before the meeting starts, private message to all those role takers, confirming their details to make sure that their details are right and perfectly fine. In case they need some changes and stuff like that, at least verify with them. It'll be more professional if you actually get that speaker bio, a bibliography, like introducing that person like a distinguished Toastmaster for at least 5 years, for example. That will make the introduction much more welcoming, and then the evaluator or speaker will just go directly to that speech title. That's the first point. Two is that in terms for Hendrik, for our timer has been doing a magnificent job today. The only challenge for Hendrik for today is that no one is spotlighting him, meaning that unless you go to gallery view, you cannot see the timer. So one thing that I noticed Hendrik actually did, and I think it's because of his lightings, is that when he showed a green card, I cannot see whether it's a green or a blue card. So because of the lighting part. So in terms of the lighting colors, it would be great to actually test it out first. Like what does it look like to you in front of a camera? So like for example, Marty actually did one thing that is kind of nice and improvement, whereby you control your green screen and then turn the green, yellow, and red. One suggestion would be that. But that also creates like a technical, I would say you need to have some tech background to do that at least for a bit. Otherwise you'll be like, you do the green shade and then it covers you like a transparent figure. So that can be one of the background drops problem. One more thing that I really like about the flows of it is that when we have the meeting, and I love the toilet break part, but the toilet break also allows people to get out of the meeting. So I would suggest during the toilet break time, let members to write some feedbacks and suggestions for the speakers or the table topic speaker, what actually caught your interest. At least there will be additional evaluation tips that people can relay to. That would be one thing that I would like to make use of full time, because it's a 3 hours meeting. We want to make the 3 hours count. Especially for Singapore and us, in Hong Kong, we have to last until midnight, whereby we can actually, if there's someone's birthday today, we can say happy birthday directly. But the point is that it's how we actually can customize the whole thing. Finally, because today is the open day, I definitely love to see some share screen like anniversary, happy first year, for example, like some festive, like listening to music. You can create and customize the meeting in any format that you like, because it's your meeting. It's something that you can bring the life to. So remember that everyone can be part of it. Like I love George actually have his puppy. You can actually have this kind of fun things that can add into it, like the toys, and you can see Marty is actually dancing already very happily. You can make things interesting instead of being too rigid, because that will be the I like turkey. Bring the turkey thing out. So I mean, it is about your customization. So I would suggest highly welcome everyone to make this meeting not just professional and formal and high quality, but make it as fun that people have a sense of belonging to this club. That will be my final suggestion for that, and pass back to you.
Okay. Uncle Cookie, next.
Yeah, sorry, I was out of the meeting for a while because I'm preparing for overseas trip on Monday. God knows when I disappearing again too. Hopefully I can come online. Yeah, the table topics I was in for the first segment. Yes, I do agree. The table topic master must just take down everybody's name in the participant list. If he open his sidebar, then just arrow everybody, as I would typically would do that. That means the point of arrow, we call it. So we just count down who is not doing that. And anyway, I will notice something this time around. We had earlier we had Hakim inside. We had Yogurt Girl now was renaming herself Seaweed Girl, and I didn't notice that everybody is not renaming themselves properly. Do you notice I rename some of you? We always miss the renaming part. The renaming is very good to indicate our roles. And I've indicated some interesting characters actually, because you have noticed I have changed some of your character. I put some of the animals inside, or some kings and queens already. You have noticed that. Tong Li, you can check. I just put you another character inside. George also, I changed your name recently.
Oh boy. King George.
So yes, so you must start to use the 3 dots and press rename. And Tong Li finally got it to be figured out. CJ also, I changed his name to something else in front. Yeah, didn't notice. Yeah, I really noted it already in the list. So that may be a good way. Hendrik did a good job, because I saw Hendrik really rename himself as timer already when the moment I attended the meeting. Yeah, Josh is enjoying his doggy now. Yeah, so that is the kind of feedback, and I hand back to Willy Wonka already.
Okay, thank you. Fellow Toastmaster, although the attendance is not that great, we make it so this far. Keep the momentum going. And we would like more evaluator for the US, for Europe to join us. Maybe Aaron and Matthew can help us on that, so that we can interchange our what we know and what work best for Singapore. It might work best for the Toastmaster. Let's share our experience across. For all the speakers, thank you for making it a very memorable night, although I am just recovering for a cold.
Yeah, and CJ haven't give his comment yet. He just came up.
Okay, CJ. You want to talk?
Yes, the meow want to talk already.
Sorry, I just came. Yeah, I just finished bathing.
So, okay, I will declare committee close, and then we continue our chit chat later. Whoever need to go can go.
Do you announce the winner yet, Willie?
Yes, the winner have announced already.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
okay.
Yeah, I missed that. Okay, can.
So I declare committee close. That's why I love for Firebirds.
You know, Firebirds also have after party, I think I remember correctly.
Yes, okay. So